All right. So the next two topics, this one is one of my favorite ones, and actually Carell is the one that he kind of put it into my head. Why do triathletes always chase times? And I think the reason why he did that or started to think like that is because as a cyclist, they don't know how far they go or how long they go. They just ride the race and then it's over.
You know how far, but nobody cares how far.
Right.
As long as you close it.
Right. But if the race is shortened or if you crash, you're out. So they don't really chase times. They don't say, well, you know, we need to do this 57-mile road race in 3:30. So you got the front, better go fast. Or, I mean, not 3:30, 100-mile race in 3:30. You better go fast. So they chase their competition. So I was one that I started to say, well, you know, I want to get faster. I want to go this time. And I think that's great. I think it's really great to have a time goal to keep you motivated. What time do you want to go at your Ironman, your half Ironman? What do you see when you wake up every morning to get you motivated? When you have a great workout, what are you visualizing when you cross that finish line? What do you see? I think it's really important to have those goals. But if you're so obsessed with times, many times that can be a negative with your training, because if you have a bad workout, or like in the case with Doris, she could have said her whole training was shot because she wasn't going to reach that goal time. So I had some pictures up there, and I want to talk about some of the races that I've had, because I don't consider myself a fast athlete. I consider myself a strong athlete, so I pick courses that I can do well at, and also I think about how I can perform the best possible at these races. So for example, my best half marathon time is 1:31. I consider that fast, but guess what? I won the Iron Girl Clearwater in 1:33. So just imagine if I went into Iron Girl Clearwater and said, I want a PR. And I started going and I just kind of hit the wall. But I went and I was in the lead from the beginning. So I was no longer chasing a time. I was trying to win the race, and I hadn't even gone into the race thinking I would not qualify, but even place. So I was just running. So this is just to show you that you can have great performances and not PR. But if you're always chasing PRs, you can end up doing more damage to your body, your mind, and even hurt your career. I've seen a lot of people that try to qualify for Kona, and then they say, well, I can't qualify for Kona, so I'm done. And it happens a lot. So you just have to think about how you can perform. If anybody is familiar with the setup events races, there's one in Macon, Georgia. It's a very hilly race. It's a great race if you're ever doing Ironman Kentucky, or if you're doing any hilly races. It's in May. It's a hot race. But that was actually my best time of 5:04. Now, if I were to do like a flat course, or if I went out to Vegas and did Vegas World Championships, I mean, that would get me far from anything worth bragging about. But the idea is that that's my personal best time on a very hard course, and that I've only done 2 half Ironman courses, Disney and Macon, and I've done each of them 3 times, and that was my best. But I was the overall amateur in Branson, which is a ridiculous course. They no longer have it because people said it was too hard, but that's why Carell and I went there. It was his first half Ironman. We wanted something hard. It was a beautiful place, and I got the age course record, and I had the fastest run of the day, 1:37 off the bike, or 1:36, and I was the winner. But I didn't have a PR. And my whole mindset was, I didn't even go hard on the bike because I said, I want to get him on the run. And I was 11th, and I didn't pass the first place girl until mile 11 of the half marathon. So, 2 examples. The next one, which I think is just kind of amazing with the Kona qualifiers, that I would like to say that most people are not trying to qualify for Kona that get into triathlons, okay? That you have the idea there, but it's probably not the first goal saying, I want to do my first Ironman and I want to qualify for Kona, right? You want to finish your Ironman. That's the goal. I would love for everybody to do an Ironman and have that experience. But I want to show you just some of the things that have qualified me for Kona. This time today would not even get me like 20th place. Ironman Florida has gotten so fast that every fast person wants to do Florida because you will have a PR no matter what. It is a fast course. There's a lot of drafting, but if you want that time, yeah, Doris was a draft official at that race, so she had a lot of fun. But this time today, I think 2007, 11 hours would have been like 15th place. So if I would have done it a year later, I wouldn't have qualified for Kona. But it happened to be that day. Now, for a while in 2009, that was my PR. So I recently broke my PR this year. It just took 4 years later. But for a while, Ironman Kentucky, and I love telling people this, my best time was my worst place in an Ironman, just because of the competition, right? Mm-hmm. But when you do an Ironman, you're chasing the competition, because if you do 12:30 or 12:10, it's not that big of a deal. But if you're running a half marathon and you do 150 and you wanted to do 130, that's a big deal. So it's all about postponing fatigue and having a strong race. Even in a half Ironman, if you can hold back somewhere to excel in the run or later in the race, that's what you want to do. So in Ironman Wisconsin and Placid, I received a roll down slot. Happened to be at the right place at the right time. But I also knew my competition, so I knew who already qualified as well, and I was hoping people would qualify as well. I knew what their races were to help them qualify ahead of time. So Ironman Wisconsin, I would rank as, for a while, my best performance ever. I never raced so strong in a race. And I say that not to brag about myself, but I just felt like I executed from start to finish, all the way to the end. It was hard, my body hurt, but I was able to do what I trained myself to do. Now, moving ahead to Ironman Lake Placid, I'll share something with you. Corel would not let me do an Ironman in 2012. He said, no, you're not doing one. I was like, but I want to do one. Everybody's doing one. I want to do an Ironman. He said, nope, you're not doing one. You're getting faster first. And that was actually the same year that I won this race and I won this race, because I didn't have that Ironman stress on my body. So I was able to do more speed. And then we started thinking, well, if that speed work works, now you can get faster before you go longer. So that's when it all started to happen, and we said, okay, no more long rides anymore. We're not doing like a bunch of 100-mile rides all the time. We're gonna do more bricks, and we're gonna do more intense workouts like we're gonna do this weekend. We're not gonna have you guys doing 100 miles out in the hills. We want you to do a 4-hour ride and have a good brick run afterwards. We want you to have a 3-hour ride and a 90-minute run afterwards. That's the smart training. Now, doesn't mean everybody has to do that this weekend, okay?
So keep going.
Yeah, but that's how we train, and that's how we want you to prepare for these races as well, because it works. Don't have to get so caught up on these times and distance. If you put the right training stress at the right time, you will perform on race day. So, Ironman Lake Placid, I had a huge PR, and if anybody knows what happened to me, I did not run for 90 days before Lake Placid because I injured myself, once again, on my hips. But, thanks to Gloria, and more Gloria, she kept my mind focused. So she said, don't stop believing in yourself. So after like a 2 weeks of depression, I'm probably more than 90 days out, but from February to May, I wasn't able to run. Now, when I say I wasn't able to run, I don't test myself. So I usually give myself longer than I need to make sure, and I have myself on very good progressions. Every year, I've not been able to run for at least 3 months. So this year, I've changed a lot, retooled, new shoes, other dynamic stretches. We've done a lot, so I'm good so far. But I've gotten injured through all these years, but the idea was that we finally started training smarter. We finally put pieces together. And Corel can do this on me because I've done this for a long time. He's seen me do a bunch of 100-mile rides, a bunch of slow stuff, kind of totally wear myself out. And he said, let's get you faster. So Ironman Lake Placid, huge PR. I also had a PR in my run. That was my same run as I did in my first Ironman Florida on the most ridiculous course I've ever ran on. After not running for 90 days, my longest run was like 12 miles going into Ironman Lake Placid. So I was like, just train smarter. You can get to your race day feeling fresh. I like to say hungry to race, almost bursting out of your skin instead of saying, oh my God, I want this Ironman over with, and your family hates you. Everybody's like, just get this Ironman over with. We understand it's a lot of stress. Now, I also want to say that here, going down to my Kona races, I was injured, but in 2011, I had a lot of tummy problems. I swallow salt water, so it contributes to a lot of, I had tummy problems at Ironman Florida, tummy problems here. I close my mouth now, so I know. I know what to do. So, just saying ahead that now I had another best performance in Kona this past year, another PR, 14 weeks after I just did another Ironman, and Corel and I decided, you do 2 Ironmans back to back, you don't have to train as much. So that's why we scheduled our Austria and Wisconsin, because they're about 14 weeks out. Doesn't say it's going to work for everybody, but it's this whole idea of thinking about what works best for you. And a lot of times it's trial and error, but you got to get there. So you have to get your body to another year, another season, and still having fun. So Kona this year, I'll talk about this because I tripped coming out of the pool, out of the water, the lake here in Placid. I wanted to break an hour so badly. I took all the risks possible, and then I'm getting out of the water, and I was like, poof. So close. But I did not go to Kona trying to swim fast, because that swim is brutal and it's so exhausting. When I did it in 2011, I stopped with like 200 meters to go, and I was like, I'm not gonna make it. It is so exhausting swim, worse than it looks like on TV. So I said, I want my best performance possible. Corel had helped me so much on the bike. He said, you're gonna have a strong bike, you're gonna run great. He said, don't overswim. So I was like, great, that's what I'm gonna do. I don't care what my time is, I'm just gonna swim. So I really took it nice and comfortable because I wanted to have that bike that I had been dreaming of having. Also, a lot of people were freaking out about the winds before the race. I was there with Gloria, she helped me out. I didn't even go ride in the windy sections. I said, you know what happens on race day happens on race day. I didn't read any forums.
You guys got some unusual tailwinds at the beginning.
We had really perfect weather.
Speeds were way up.
Yes, we had perfect weather. But what happened the day before didn't happen on race day, so why would I stress about that? So I ended up, I remember coming off the bike and Gloria was just like, Corel's so excited for you. She was like yelling. And I was just so happy. And then finally I had the run that I've always wanted to run. It wasn't super fast, but it's Kona. And I had another PR. I was so happy about it. So I just wanted to show you guys because I want you all to succeed. And I don't want you to chase these times thinking that you can't succeed. Just like Doris succeeded, other people, you probably have your own stories as well. If you want to qualify for nationals or world championships or even PR, you have to understand that it's not always about focusing just on the time. So I just hope that this is proof that when you get up to these longer distance races, it's really not about being fast. Okay, so who here writes race reports? Highly recommend writing a race report. You don't have to share it with people, but I think it's really good for you to reflect because sometimes we can be really hard on ourselves when we should be giving ourselves credit. So you may be saying, oh, I really messed up, my run sucked, and my swim was horrible, but you may be saying, well, I did this really well, or I executed this well, or maybe vice versa. You may say, oh my gosh, I finished so strong, but you may say, now looking back, I probably should have had more nutrition on the bike. So I do recommend just writing your race report, and also a lot of people checking splits, right? Checking times. When you do write your race report, and if you choose to share it with other people, you tell that person what really went down on the race. So you may look at my swim time from Kona and be like, gosh, she was pretty slow, because in Placid she swam 101. Okay?
Different start, different conditions.
Maybe she just, gosh, did she cramp? What's going on? But that's how I wanted my race. And when I wrote my race report, I explained it. So hopefully I can help somebody else out there. So also that your ability to perceive greatness is different than somebody else. So when you write your race report, write it for yourself, not trying to please other people. So if you did something wrong, tell yourself that, improve so that you can get better. Okay, so a few tips to reach success faster, just kind of summarizing the whole topic here. Have a mindful eating plan. We're going to talk about this. Be consistent with training. The best thing you can do is be consistent. Don't just look at one epic workout. How are you able to perform consistently? Welcome change, relying on the power of goal setting, stress, sleep, attitude management, and remember that this is your lifestyle and not your life. Okay, so my last topic today is one of my favorite topics. Recently, I wrote a blog that received a lot of attention on social media. It actually received over 60,000 hits in about 48 hours. I never expected it to do that because I have been writing about the same thing for about, 6 or 7 years, and no one has really caught on. And I'm like, listen, people, you have to have a healthy relationship with your body. But finally, it caught on. And thanks to a lot of people in this room, thank you for sharing, because I think it changed a lot of people. Hopefully it will keep changing, but I think people will still be going back. So, the reason why I love this topic, men and women, is because in our sport, in our society, we are so body image obsessed. Many times, this obsession with body allows us, or causes us, when we're doing something good, to actually become bad. So we think we're moving in the right direction, but we hear one thing, we think one thing, and then we change everything that probably is helping us move forward. So this idea of having a healthy relationship with food in your body is making sure that you keep this positive relationship going so you can reach your goals. Whether it is to change your body composition to be healthy, whether it's to change your diet to be healthy, or it is to perform well. But you don't want to kind of dig a hole that you can't get out of because you're trying to have this perfect vision of doing everything that everybody else is talking about. So, this was the image that I put on my blog. And I think that's, as social media goes, it's all about how you capture your audience. So, and I've used this in presentations before when I talk to women's groups. Why do you think I put this on here? Well,
Is this the one that's like 10 days later?
Huh?
Is this the one that was 10 days later, the same? Okay.
Something different. So why do you think? It's pretty obvious, right?
Look at their abs.
Right. Now, when I posted this blog, I received probably 98% of positive feedback. The only negative feedback I got were from men. And you know what they said? Well, of course she's the faster athlete. Look at her. Now, women do this too. You show up to a race, you look at the other bodies, and you automatically say, oh, they're faster. Okay, well, we had a bunch of bodies out there today, and I don't know who was the fastest or slowest. You guys were just doing your own workout, right? Doing what you needed to do to have the best workout possible. And I think someone did analyze this race, of course, some male, and no offense, but I think, so what, they're racing in a gazillion events, right? Can we really control every scenario? What if she saw her and said, I'm not going to eat because I feel fat? What if she sabotaged her own performance because she didn't want to eat her carbohydrates that would have given her energy for the race, right? Or what if she's so obsessed with her body image that next week she's gotten a stress fracture and she's out for the whole season? Also, I think that she only won by like a couple tenths of a hundredths of a second, okay? it doesn't come down to body image. We are not fitness competitors in a pageant. What we want to do is, how do you use your body? And that's what matters. So, for example, triathletes. Sarah McCartley, Rini here, and Meredith. So, we have 3 different types of athletes. Super strong biker, super great runner, super strong swimmer. Guess what you guys are? You're swimmers, you're bikers, and you're runners. Your body is going to look like a triathlete, and there is no look. Runners have a certain body, swimmers have a certain body, snowboarders have a certain body, ice skaters have a certain body, but it's all about how you perform. And you are trying to take 3 different bodies. So don't just say that you want to be this lean athlete, because you have to swim, you have to bike, and you have to run. So it's all about how your body performs and not what it looks like. So, do you have a healthy relationship with food? So here are some things that people, athletes included, will often do to sabotage themselves or their health for this body image. So binge, purge, restrict, diet too quickly to lose weight, train just to burn calories, that you're obsessed with the scale. I see people all the time, they have a great workout, they jump on the scale, and it's like everything was removed. Forget about that great workout, you hate that number on there. This kitchen or household appliance is telling you how to run your day. Your body weight negatively impacts your lifestyle. Your body weight affects your relationship with others, your self-image. You compare yourself to other people. You're thinking about diet, exercise, weight, like it controls your mind, and you can't actually make progress in life. If you don't train, you don't deserve to eat. If you train, you deserve to eat anything. So there's a lot of things, and you can ask yourself, are these things keeping you from moving forward? So the reason why I have this slide on here, probably women will identify it a little bit more, is as athletes, we want to perform beautifully. So even for males. So I want to see what you can do with your body. I love a body in motion. I don't care what it looks like. I want to see how it performs, why it performs, what did you do to get it to perform. I think that's why we love watching Kona and the Ironman. It doesn't matter. I don't think people are watching those last hour finishers saying, well, if that person would have lost 10 pounds, they would have been 2 hours faster. No, you're watching that human body in motion, and that's what's beautiful about it. So, why do you eat? My 3 reasons why we should be eating. The first one is health. You have to reduce your risk for disease, and especially cancer. If you are not eating to reduce your risk for disease, I want you to change that now. I want you to see food for health. Fuel. You need to eat just like you put gas into your car. You all know that. I'm just going to say it right now. Don't sabotage your workouts to try to save calories, to try to lose weight. Your body is under the most training stress when you're training. So it's not in the afternoon when you need it. You can still have a snack, but it's not in the afternoon when you need energy. It's not at 9 o'clock at night when you need that evening snack. It's when your body is actually moving. That's when your body needs the fuel the most. And then pleasure. So we still eat for pleasure, and that shouldn't go away. But what happens is people eat for pleasure and they feel guilty about it. So rather than eating a birthday cake on your birthday, people say, well, no, I can't eat birthday cake. Oh, birthday cake is bad, or I can't have brownies or cookies or whatever on these special occasions. It should make you feel good. And what I tell people is, think about food, how it makes you feel after you eat it. Because I think we can all indulge responsibly in a certain amount and then not feel sick or gross or guilty after we eat it. So you can still indulge and feel good about it. If you cross that line, that's when those negative thoughts start playing in your head. And many times with the pleasure eating is that you'll feel guilty, and then the next day you'll end up sabotaging yourself because you'll say, well, I shouldn't eat this, I can't eat this, I need to over-exercise more. So I like this one. So, dear diet, it's not you, it's me. I don't think it's going to work out between us. You're boring and tasteless, and I can't stop cheating on you. So, the I hope to write my book one day, but I will be part of this. But this is really wrapping up our society. This is a $1 billion industry, is weight loss books. Many times they're not by registered dietitians or physicians, and if they are, they're just trying to get your attention. But if these things worked, then the cancer institutes would be all over it. Then athletes would be all over this. But what's happening is somebody tries this one, somebody tries this one, somebody tries this one. There's no consistency. And the same thing happens with training too, is that people aren't trusting what they know probably works. And they're always trying to try something different. So what you need to do is stick to the basics. This does not know that you're a triathlete. These do not know your goals. It can give you good information at times, but it doesn't know you as the individual.
I just had to eat 3 apples.
3 apples?
Done.
Uh-oh. So, who here has thought about their body, their life in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Have you thought about that? Have you thought about where you want to be when you're 90?
Upright.
Do you want to get do you want to get to 90? So my dad, he would tell me, Marnie, it's not about living to 90. It's how you live the. Medicine can keep you alive, but do you want to be in a nursing home? Do you want to be on a ventilator? Do you just want to be having someone take care of you? Or do you want to be traveling? Do you want to be exercising? Do you want to be like Gary, who's 65, and he's telling me his goals for like the next 10 years when he's 85 and 80, what he wants to be doing. So he just wants to outlive his competition, I think. So,
Yeah.
but the idea is that you have to think about your life, because 30 to 50, it's very easy to spend 20, 30 years dieting, trying to reach this perfect body image, or saying, oh, it'll get easier, it'll get better, or I need to do this. But this is your life right now. Don't waste these prime years, because who knows when you're going to retire, but the body's going to age. It's going to slow down. It's not going to be like it is right now. So enjoy this time. Don't try to get this perfect life with eating and exercise. Just enjoy it. And I think if we can take that pressure off yourself, like it has to be this way, then you're really going to maximize your life for the next 10, 20 years. Many times people will waste years just trying to do the same thing and expect different results. Or they're trying everything and making no progress. But you guys are at your prime of your life. You're healthy, you're happy, you're here. So just think about that. Think about yourself and where you want to be in 5, 10, and 50 years from now. So I'm just going to give a few tips and the reason why I put this presentation last is because I want you guys to walk away with this. I felt like it would not be doing you the service if I put this at the beginning of the presentation and talked about gadgets at the end, and then our ride tomorrow and you're just thinking about gadgets. I want you to think about your body. What it's allowing you to do over these 3 days is pretty incredible. I want you to think about what you put it through all the time with training and work and everything that you balance. So I'm just going to give you some tips that hopefully you can walk away with. So mindful eating. This is a life changer. If there's one diet tip that you can follow, it's learning to eat more mindfully. Eating with attention and intuition. Just think about it. How's this going to make me feel when I eat it? I don't care if a food is good or bad for you. I care about if it's going to make me feel good. That's what's important to me. I eat for nourishment, fuel, and enjoyment. If you guys knew who I was married to over there and how we live our life, and cookies, beer, pastries. Did I exclude anything there? Did I cover everything on there?
Almost got it.
Yeah. So,
Sounds like a perfect diet.
yes, but we don't eat that way all the time. But in our house, we never lecture about food, ever. There's never an argument about food. There's never a negative comment. I don't say, what are you eating? I'm not the food police. I did not go to school to be the food police as a registered dietitian. But being around someone that's not even from America, he has a different mindset about food. So he's not walking around saying, oh, is that bad? Is this good? I mean, just eat real food. So I think that's really important, that there are no rules. In our house, no rules with food. But if he started bringing home a bunch of stuff, that wouldn't allow him to be healthy and to be active, he's going to know that. He's going to feel that. I think there's a certain mindset that we have with food, that we know what's going to help us be healthy. Savor, don't devour. So if you want something, savor it, eat it slowly, enjoy it. Honor your hunger, don't watch the clock. It's not that you're allowed to eat at 4 o'clock, at 12 o'clock, at 6 o'clock. If you're hungry, eat. Have a positive food and body language and relationship, and we'll talk about that. And then eat for energy and biological hunger. There's a big difference if you're biologically hungry and if you're just bored. Okay? So this is one of my favorite quotes. When you finish eating, you should feel better than when you started. You walked in this room, you were hungry, you ate, you feel better. Shouldn't have walked in this room, ate, and then say, I feel horrible. Hopefully. So, exercise. So you guys do a good job with exercise. The reason why I put this on here is that you guys know you should be exercising. So, you know what? There may be a time in your life when you can't train for triathlons, when it doesn't work out. Okay? So, that doesn't mean that you just become sedentary. You may have a break in your training. You may not be racing. You still need to exercise. So don't think black and white. I don't have 2 hours to train. I can't do anything. You have to be moving your body. So these are my exercise tips. And the reason why I put this here is because your body is not perfect. You're going to have off days. You're going to have days, maybe even weeks, where it's just like you got to get that motivation back again. If you don't have a partner to share it with you, or you don't have a team or a coach, it's hard to do it by yourself. So think like a kid. Throw those gadgets at home and just go outside and just run, just bike, do whatever, because kids aren't running around saying, what was your pace when we were playing hide and go seek today? No, they just go out there and they just do it until it's dinner time. Involve others, get outside your comfort zone, try something new. Maybe that's why you're here today. Set goals and track your progress. Where were you 4 weeks ago compared to today? Start slow. Get new gadgets and new clothing. It always helps. You're not going to buy new shoes and just keep them in the box. You want to use them. Think progress, not perfection. Time focused. If you don't have an hour, then maybe 3 20-minute segments throughout the day. Use perceived exertion. And then when's the right time for you? Are you a good person at 8 o'clock at night? Is that your ideal time to work out, or is it first thing in the morning? Generally, people need to work out first thing in the morning if you're an athlete, because that's when your competitions are. So your nutrition, your sleep cycle, everything, you're trying to get on that regimen. So try to get it out in the morning. And then the bonus tip is that this is a prescription for your health. So you need to exercise. So if you're having an off day, you can still move your body, and you don't have to just skip that 10K run that you were going to do that day. So, all right. My favorite topic here. So I'm going to get a little more into it. So you guys know how much I love Campy, right? This is actually one of my favorite pictures. Look at him smiling there. We had been in Czech for almost 2 weeks, and he was speechless when we came home. He was with my parents, and he was like, "Are you guys really here?" Oh my gosh. And he was just smiling like crazy. This was going down, I love this one, to Miami. He's just such a cutie. All right, so now I'm going to kind of give you guys a little scenario, and I want to know what you think. So let's say I take Campy to the vet, okay? I take him to the vet. What's the first thing you do when you go to the vet with your dog or cat? Weigh them. Okay. So put Campy on the scale. He's normally 12 pounds, a feisty 12 pounds. And let's say he gained 5 pounds. Okay? So he gained 5 pounds. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, 5 pounds. So we go into the office, and the vet comes in, doing his little checkup, looking at his ears, touching his bones and his skin, and says, Marnie, you must be doing something right, because his bones are so strong. His skin is good, his coat is good, his eyes are good. I think Campy's probably going to live like maybe 5 years longer than most dogs. He's like in perfect health. Do you think I'm hearing any of that? What am I thinking about?
The 5 pounds.
The 5 pounds. That's the only thing going through my head. This doctor is telling me everything healthy about my dog. That he's gonna live longer, that I've been doing something right, but yet all I hear, 5 pounds, 5 pounds, 5 pounds because of that scale. So, we leave the vet, check out, probably another costly visit to tell me he's fine. So, we go home, I sit Campy in the car and I say, Campy, all right, I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna go on a juice cleanse. Because that's what everybody's doing, right? We're gonna get those 5 pounds right off. Right? Isn't that what everybody does? Right? You vacation, you gotta cleanse when you get back home, right? So you lose the weight. Alright, so I was like, well, maybe that's not a good idea. So instead, I'm gonna restrict his carbohydrates. So I'm only gonna feed him once a day, and I'm only gonna give him protein and fat. Right? Because that's what I'm supposed to do. Got to get those 5 pounds off because it's probably the carbohydrates that put that weight on, right? Is that a good idea? Okay. All right. So next one. I know what I'm going to do, Campy. We are going to work out twice a day, every day for 5 days. 2 hours in the morning and an hour at night. I'm going to work you out until you can't even move anymore. Think that's a good idea?
There's no carbs, go for that.
Yeah. Carbs probably would help, but no. All right, so that doesn't work. So then, well, all right, so I've exhausted all my options. So the last thing is I probably shouldn't take him to the doggy park anymore because you know what's going to happen? All the other dogs are going to make fun of him. They're going to tell him how bloated he is, how ugly he is, how fat he is, right? Because he gained 5 pounds and everybody is going to know. Because no one is going to say how healthy he looks. Instead, they're going to know he gained weight. So what do you guys think about that? Would that be acceptable if I did that to my little campster? So why do human beings that are extremely intelligent, that make lots of money, that, did I mention you guys are smart human beings? So why would it be practical for a human being to cleanse, to detox, to fast, to restrict food, all because of a scale? Or because you feel a certain way that your whole life now has to change? This doctor just told me that Campy was healthy. He was fine. He can go back to what he was doing before. Campy doesn't know otherwise. He loves his life. He doesn't complain. But all I thought about was those 5 pounds. Is losing those 5 pounds, is it going to make him any happier? He loves his life. He gets to sleep in a king-size bed with us under the covers. He gets to travel. He's got the best life ever. And you know what? Campy doesn't get to live very long. Not like you guys. Campy at tops will live 18 years. Don't you should cry.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
But
Can't wait for the survey later. This part sucks.
the idea is to live a quality-filled life. I want Campy to live the best life ever. I know if he puts on too much weight, that his health will be compromised. But if I take off too much weight, the pet society is going to get mad at me because now he's too thin. But in our society, thin and a certain body weight is what is idolized. It's not health. We preach health, but we're not moving in that direction in our mind compared to other people. So if it wouldn't be appropriate for your kids, if it wouldn't be appropriate for a cancer patient, why is it appropriate for someone that's as healthy as you are? Next slide. So all these thoughts that are circling in your head, they may not be on your head right now. Maybe you've heard someone say this. I hear people doing this all the time. When I'm in the hospital, I'll hear people walking around saying, oh, I shouldn't eat this. I was so bad yesterday. And I'm like, okay, you shouldn't eat this, so don't eat it. I shouldn't eat this. I shouldn't eat this. I shouldn't eat this. Don't eat that. If it makes you feel bad, why are you doing it? Oh, she's so lucky, look at her. Oh, I hate my body. Oh, I messed up. Oh, I'd be faster if I looked like this. Oh, I hate this. This is what's causing a lot of lack of progress. Because your mind is telling your body what it should be doing. When your body performs and is showing you, you guys had awesome runs today. Everybody did great. So why would you, not saying you did, but go back and say, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this. Well, maybe you do want to lose some weight, that's fine, but don't do it in a destructive way. Make progress one step at a time, because you're still healthy and you still get to do what you want to do right now. But if you try to get those quick fixes, they don't last. So, a few tips. Eat for fuel and for health. So, it's real food. What I wanted to give you guys today was real food. This is how we eat. We still have pita chips. We still have other things, but the priority in our diet is real food because it makes us feel good. That is researched and that is scientifically proven. We should be eating food from Mother Earth, not from factories. You can still eat it, enjoy it, maybe pick the best processed food option. I'm not saying there's any off-limit foods, but real food is the way to go because that gives you the nutrients that you need. Honor your hunger. Inspire people, don't lecture. I don't know if you guys like to be around people who take your energy away. I don't. But I don't want people telling me what I should and shouldn't be eating. So don't be around those people. You know what works best for you. If someone's saying, don't eat this, I like to just yum when I eat. So I just go, and people are like, oh, what are you eating? So yum, don't lecture. Eat with a purpose. Why are you eating? Maybe there's a time, I know when Kelsey and Elizabeth came here, they said, Marnie, I want a salad. I wasn't thinking, oh, they're dieting. Oh, they're not going to have energy for the workout. They've been on a plane for a while. You guys know how you feel when you've been traveling. You just want something clean and fresh. So I was like, oh, Moe's or Crispers or something. So it wasn't an opportunity for me to say, oh, eat this, don't eat this. I get it. So there may be times when you are eating a salad and you're not on a diet. You're just eating a salad because you want a salad. And there may be times when ice cream is the best thing that you want to be eating. Corral came home one day, and I haven't seen him do this in a while. He had ice cream for lunch. So, right, Corral?
Only for lunch and dessert.
Okay. Sorry. What did you eat for lunch that day?
Fries.
He just came home with an ice cream container. I hadn't seen him do that.
It was a frozen yogurt.
Okay. Frozen yogurt. This is how our relationship goes all the time. I'm making tofu and he's drinking beer. So, but eat with a purpose. There may be times when it makes you feel good. Only you know what works best for you, so don't worry about other people. We don't lecture each other. I don't want to lecture you either. Food doesn't solve problems. If it does, let me know because I've had a lot of problems. So if whatever you're eating and it's solved, let me know. Chocolate sometimes solves problems, but temporarily, but it's still okay. Seafood for nutritional value. You guys can look at food and know if it's good and what it's going to provide your body. So don't think of it in calories, carbs, fat, protein. What is it going to provide you at that time? I like to work on a good, better, best system when I work with athletes and other people. So in the beginning of a nutritional journey, I may recommend processed food for somebody so that they start eating on a more regular schedule. I may recommend portions for people to help them out. I may recommend eating out certain times of the week because I'm trying to move them from a good to a better to a best. I can't just say to somebody, I see a lot of these diet fads saying all this real food. Well, it took me years to progress to appreciate more real food and to learn the tips in my lifestyle of making dinner before we have our 5:45 swim practice at night to make that a routine. So I didn't just learn that habit overnight as to how to make this work for our lifestyle, what go-to meals work the best, and how it's going to work for us. So you need to work on a good, better, best system so that you're not trying to just change everything in 30 days. And then what did you learn? What has changed? What can you stay with? So it's small steps along the way. And also remember, there's 365 days in a year. It's not just about Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas or Hanukkah that you're bad or that you get to do whatever you want. You can eat whatever you want all year long. It shouldn't be seen as January to December think about it. Maybe think about your year as your birthday and from day you were born until the next day. So that's what you should be celebrating. And then also set yourself up for success. You have to create a positive environment, whether it's food, training, whatever. You lay your clothes out at night so you're ready in the morning. Same thing with food. You have your food prepared. It's easier to go to the next day. So the last thing here is to have goals for yourself. So I know through my experience, I'm sure for you guys as well, have there ever been a time in a training session or a race where you said, I can't do this anymore, I can't keep going? There's moments where you, in your mind, you say, I can't do this, I can't do this, but something keeps you going. You have to have goals. If you don't have goals for yourself, then what's the point of having this training plan, hiring a coach, and being able to make some progress? So every time I work with athletes, specifically with nutrition, I have them fill out a goal sheet. In your bags, I gave everybody a goal sheet and a bucket list sheet. So I want, on the same sheet. So I want you guys to go through them. So these are the sheets here. And the first 5 are bucket list. And the reason why I listed that first is because a bucket list, you don't really need to work hard at it. Maybe if you want to write a book or, get a bonus or move up at your job, that may be like a bucket list. But I think for a lot of people, it's just things you want to experience in life. You want to travel somewhere, maybe you want to meet somebody. You can't really say you will do it, but it's on your list. So I think that's really cool to be able to look at a bucket list because you have to live enough to be able to experience these things. You can't just say, well, in a week, I want to travel to Australia. Well, maybe in 30 years, you have the money, the time, family, you'll travel to Australia. The next one is your goals. So I want everybody to have goals in life, exercise, and nutrition because they work together. For example, if you say that in life you want to get better sleep, okay, very important one. Well, sleep may help you with your exercise goals. It may help you with your nutrition goals. Also, if you eat better, you may sleep better. If you want to travel more, then you may say, well, my exercise goals may change a little because I want to travel. So it's very important that you have these goals short-term and long-term as well.
My bucket list is to make this mouse work.
All right. So think beyond diet and training. You can't blame everything on nutrition. You can't expect your body to solve all problems. Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. But guess what? Nutrition isn't everything. These are so important in your lifestyle as an athlete. So stress management. Who here feels like they have no stress in their life? Right. So we can't get rid of stress, but we can deal with it. Doris's bike didn't come yesterday. She was a little stressed. Coming all this way and her bike didn't come. It came about midnight after she figured out where it was, and it was actually in the airport the whole time, but they couldn't find it. So could she deal with that or prevent it? No. But she could manage how she reacted to it. And as my athlete, I know her well. I knew what to say to her. And even though we were pretty bummed, but you got to say the right thing. So it's really important that you surround yourself with positive people, people who give you energy and don't take it away from you. You get good sleep, you work on your stress management, because if you have all these things, your performance will improve. You don't have to lose weight, you don't have to put in a bunch of long rides or runs. These are really good things that are going to help your lifestyle and your performance as well. So, real food diet, real quickly. Lesson. These are Fruit Loops. This is a loop, and this is fruit. They have nothing to do with each other. This is made in a factory. This is a cute little doggy. And this is real fruit. You guys know this, right? Do we all know that what's man-made versus what's made in a factory? Yes? Okay. It's not that we're eating too much processed food and that's what's bad and horrible and why people feel better when they eat more real food. It's we don't have the habits to appreciate real food. You can still eat processed food. You can have Fruit Loops, but let's not have Fruit Loops for breakfast and then by 10 you're starving. Let's rearrange things. Maybe you're not even eating breakfast and then you're eating something later on in the evening. You want to prioritize. Doesn't mean you restrict food or you have a good or bad food list. You want to prioritize real food because that's the food that your body knows what to do with.
They love the marketing on those things.
Yeah.
Make with fiber.
I always thought it was Fruit Loops, like fruit, like Fruit.
And they don't even try.
No.
I don't think I've ever noticed.
Yeah.
Whoops.
So, moving on. So, who would like to read me the ingredients of bulgur? Don't take too long. Bulgur. Who would like to read me the ingredients of fat-free Cool Whip? Does anybody read ingredients when you read food? Yeah. I think people scan them, but most of the time pick it anyways. Or maybe you're looking at the fat or the carbs or something else. But if you can start reading what's in the food that you're eating, it's not that, sure, we all have intolerances. Certain foods may sit better than other foods. But if we get back to a real food diet, then all your questions of what's the best diet? Should I try this? Should I try this? Is this a good food? They all become answered. Because if we can get back to the foods that our body knows how to process, even from a very early age. So this is years of teaching your body how to work with these foods that we should be eating. Because we've been eating these foods and other chemically modified foods for so long, no wonder our tummies hurt. No wonder we're not feeling good. We need to get back to that real food. So this is just to show you that it's not that certain foods are bad, whether we term them as gluten or dairy or other things. Yes, we may have intolerances, but you are the only one that knows those things, and it isn't until you get back to a real food diet then you can start experimenting as to what foods may be the best for you. But you have to get back to a real food diet. You can't just say this food is bad and then not eat it again. So, just a very, hopefully when you guys, were preparing your food, hopefully I gave you guys options so that you could create a plate like this. Maybe the only thing that was lacking was maybe some fats, but I had the nuts up here. So I could have done avocado or olive oil, but the whole idea is that you get a plant strong plate. So you fill your plate with fruits and veggies, you have your grains, whether they're gluten-free or not, and you have your healthy fats and your lean quality protein, whether it's plant or animal protein. So that's a very basic way to start creating your meals. And if you need some help from the grocery store or frozen foods, that's fine. But the idea is that you start creating these meals and that you don't let your training take over, that you don't keep eating this healthy diet that's going to keep you healthy. So, to summarize everything, to become the best you that you can be, whether it's reaching your performance goals, reaching your health goals, have a mindful eating plan. So plan out your nutrition around your workouts throughout the day. Be consistent with your exercise. Guess what? We're not going to all have epic workouts all the time. You're going to have highs and lows. Just try to be consistent. Modify your training. Develop a positive food and body vocabulary. I think I touched on that. So rather than saying that you're fat, ugly, gross, disgusting, tell your body something good that you like about it. Appreciate food for nutritional value, not just for calories. Use goal setting. Work on these things besides just diet and exercise to make you a better athlete. Prioritize real food, and then focus on your needs so that you set yourself up for a better tomorrow. So I want to thank you guys so much for your attention. I know it was a really long day. It was a lot of information. hopefully you can walk away with a few things. I know that probably talking about gadgets was like way yesterday in your brain right now, but hopefully everything that I talked about is things that you'll remember so that when you leave this camp, I wanted to get all this talking over with so you could just focus on training the rest of the camp, that you'll walk away with a better appreciation how to take care of yourself, how to train smarter, because both Corel and I, we want you guys to reach your goals. That's all we want. We don't want your money. We don't want you to talk about us on social media like we're the best thing. We just want you to reach your goals. And because we know that you guys are willing to put in the work, so why not reach your goals? We've had many athletes that we've seen, and you guys know them as well, that just do the work when it doesn't count. And they don't get to perform optimally on race day. You guys are paying for races, you're committing yourself to these goals, you're putting a lot on hold so that you can do these races, and I want you guys to succeed. So hopefully you'll walk away with this camp with new skills and appreciation how to train smart. So thank you guys. Yeah. So, I'm not sure if you guys